Got our pads on, got our helmets. We're ready to guard your savings. Yes, the Guard Your Savings podcast with Dolph Janis, the founder and insurance professional and income strategist as well at Clear Income Strategies Group out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Hit Dolph and the team up at guardyoursavings.com. They'll know if you hit them, he's got the pads on. He's a guard, okay? He's not going to put up with that. And you can also go and dial him up 704-919-0149. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull. And, Dolph, I hope you're doing well today. How's it going?
March Madness, baby. This time of the year, watching these games, watching everything going on, it's just live to survive another day. So I'm doing fantastic. The weather's turning. Spring is here. What better way to get the weather out and just daylight savings time's now over with, and so days are lasting longer. So it's wonderful.
It really is. We are recording this on the first day of spring and the first day of the tournament itself after the play-in games the night before. And that dare I ask, is it and by the way, by the time people hear this prediction or whichever may already be gone, but it's worth noting because I know you're a big fan from Michigan, right? So are we thinking Michigan goes all the way? Do they actually have a realistic chance?
Nope.
No. Okay.
And nope. No, they don't have enough discipline.
Okay.
They got a great team when they're playing on all cylinders, but they're not consistent. Consistency wins in these tournaments, and I hope I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong, but you know the old saying, yada, yada, yada. Well, this is a yada, yada, yada. Just they're happy to be there, and we'll see what happens.
Got to actually play the games. You never know, right? So, yeah, that's the thing is in some way it's not up to chance. It all takes skill, but it's really hard to predict it all. And certainly we're trying to look at ways to have a more stable income, if you will, and try to figure those things out. And that's what Clear Income Strategies Group does. And so give them a call once again, 704-919-0149. And schedule that 20-minute Ask Anything session with Dolph. There's also complimentary literature you can get hold of, including Dolph's book, Cross the Bridge to Retirement. Now, Dolph, today we're going to talk about the 4 ages that can make or break someone's retirement and what they mean. Remember, folks, all of our episodes are found, though, under the podcast tab, under the media tab, if you will, on clearincomeforlife.com, which is what clicks through when you go to guardyoursavings.com. So on our past episodes, by the way, most recently, we talked about retirement budgeting, and we did the ins and outs of Social Security. So check those out. And if you find anything that's to your liking or that you think really resonate with someone in your circle, be sure and send them the link and be sure to subscribe also. So today, Dolph, we hit the 4 ages that can make or break retirement, and people need to have someone in their corner to help them handle these benchmarks correctly, Dolph. So what are they and how does it work?
Well, every day you're alive is a blessing, first of all. And the old Dalai Lama once said that 2 days of the year you can't ever change is yesterday and tomorrow. And people forget about that because they hold on to all the mistakes and the grudges and anger from yesterday, and they take it on till tomorrow. And I always lived by this phrase when I was an altar boy back in the day. Every moment you're upset, angry, depressed, or anything negative is a moment of happiness you're taking away from your life. And so knowing and knowledge is power. I mean, when you're growing up, you're like, ooh, you want to turn 16 because you want to be able to get that driver's license. Then 18 for you can vote, and then 21 for you can go have a Shirley Temple at the local pub. And then if you think about that, after 21, the ages, they start rolling together.
Yeah.
And they're 30, and there's really no milestone days between the ages of 21 and the old magical 59 and a half.
Yeah, I didn't throw a big party when I turned 35 and was eligible to run for president. It just didn't ring the same as turning 18.
Nah, not with that hat you're wearing on. I wouldn't run for president with that hat on either. But
it's a great hat.
Anyway, but it's like you're right. I mean, 40 and 50, they're big milestones, but you don't get anything extra for any benefits by turning 40 or 50 years old. Now, when you turn 59 and a half, which is one of the biggest ages out there, that opens up a whole plethora of different opportunities for your retirement or your financial planning, because now in the eyes of the IRS and the government and the rules are you're eligible to take money out of your retirement accounts without that 10% penalty. You're now eligible to move your money out of one retirement account to another retirement account without any penalty. I mean, there's just all those different rules at 59 and a half that are very important, because let's just say you're in a job, you've been there for 20 years, you got $400,000 saved in a 401k, you don't trust the market anymore, the account's been more volatile than jumping up and down at a basketball game or whatever you want to do since it's March Madness, and you want to put it somewhere safe and secure, and you want to move it somewhere. Well, now you're 59 and a half, you're allowed to. The company can't say, nope, sorry, Jim, you can't move your money. You're 59 and a third. Once you hit 59 and a half, that gives you the opportunity. And a lot of people say, okay, I want to protect this amount of money. And that comes down to retirement and the importance of ages. The number one question you need to ask yourself, Doug, is how much of my money do I really want to protect? And it's an answer that a lot of people can't answer until they hit 59 and a half. And they're like, I want to protect this amount of percentage of it. I want to have this much at risk, this amount of percentage of it. So then it leads on, you're going on. And then the next age that pops up is 62. Do you know what happens at age 62?
Eligible to take Social Security.
Ding, you win a door prize. You get behind what's door number one. That is correct.
I listened to the last episode. I was even there for it.
Yes, you were. But you're now eligible. You don't have to, but now you're eligible from any day forward after you hit 62 years old to start taking Social Security benefits. And you know how Social Security benefits, the longer you delay, the more you can get. But depending on where you're at in your retirement, do you want to delay it or take it then? I'm a fan. If you're retiring at 62 or 63, take it early because you're going to get an 8 to 12 to 14-year break-even point. So that's another one. The next big age when you're strolling through the 60s, there was some good music back in the 60s.
Yeah? What was some of your favorite?
I loved Frankie Valli. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, the Four Seasons, I just them and Marvin Gaye and those guys. I mean, some of that music just brings smiles to my face because you hear that music and it's just like, wow. You can actually hear the words and understand the words too on the way.
Anyway, you're moving through the 60s. So your first retirement benchmark age that's in the 60s is 62, but that's not the last.
Nope. Then the next one is one of the biggest fears besides running out of money in retirement. And one of the biggest expenses is a thing called health cost, medical cost. That's where at 65, now you're Medicare eligible. And it's very, you can sign up to Medicare. We have a Jeff in our office who's forgotten more about this than I'll ever learn. He's been doing it for over 30 years, doesn't charge anything, and he answers so many questions. But like you can sign up for Medicare up to 90 days prior to your 65th birthday. And you can put pauses on Medicare, but you have Part A, Part B, all the supplements and stuff. And it's a great program if utilized correctly. But if you don't utilize it correctly, you could be paying more money into it than you really need to. So there's another step of saving money in retirement is 65. Then the last one pops along as you're now strolling through the 60s, you're going to your 70s. Now it's called RMD time. Depending on when you were born, your RMDs could be 72 years old, 73 years old, soon even be up to 74 years old. And this is where the government's saying, well, Doug and for everybody, we've let you have these tax-deferred accounts that you've qualified. Now you have to start taking money out. And knowing how much you have to take out is very important as well, because if you don't, you're going to get penalized 50% of currently 50%. Who knows? That might change. Everything changes on a daily basis.
Yeah, sure.
Of what you're going to be taking out and how you're going to be using it. And then some people are like, but Dolph, I don't need the money or this, or that's going to put me in another tax bracket if I take it out. Well, there's charitable distributions you can do with your IRA to give to charities and not have to pay taxes on the RMD. A lot of options. So as you're gaining through your life and saving money and stuff like that, it's so important to know the different milestone birthdays of 59 and a half, 62, 65, and 73 or /74, because if you prepare and plan properly with these all in mind, guess what? Stress-free retirement. That's what you're looking for at the end of the day, is relaxing, enjoying, and not having to worry about how much money I come in. I say it over like a broken book. This is the old yada, yada, yada again theory. Is like I said it over and over and over again. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It really does not matter. How much income do you have coming in from that money to subsidize your lifestyle and live the lifestyle that you want? Do you want to be dependent on somebody else? I don't. When I get older, I want to have enough income to prepare myself, live, and still live the life I want to do. And doing it the right way and doing it, more importantly, your way is so key and important.
It really is. And it's important to have somebody like you that's been over 2 decades in financial planning and trying to help people walk through this and being an insurance professional, an income strategist. You talk about the income, right? You care a lot about the income, but you're an income strategist, Dolph. Part of strategy is knowing when to dial that back. Let's just say that somebody I'm making up an outlandish number. Okay. So just, it's rare that somebody's going to have $500 million in retirement. Okay. I mean, if someone's like, I want to live off of $10 million a year, right? Somehow they were able to pull that off. Someone like you would be like, well, wait a second, before you pull that lever, that's going to hit your accounts and potentially be taxable depending on where it's coming from. So you help them know where to deploy this money, including when the government forces you to take it, so it doesn't skyrocket your Medicare premiums and Social Security and all this stuff, right?
We have a tax premium software that we can plug in all the numbers of where all your retirement accounts. I do this for my clients and even prospects that come in. We don't charge for it. And it's going to be within a 1% differential how much you're going to be paying in federal taxes. It doesn't figure out state, just federal. And what tiers you are, it's like people always that think of, oh, once I hit 96,500, I'm now in the 21% taxile bracket. Yes, but only for anything from 96,500 and above are you in that tax bracket.
Okay.
All the stuff before that, you're still in the previous tax brackets. It's layered.
Wow.
So this software tells you accordingly. But you know this firsthand. You're a smart guy. And most people out there know this as well. And this is very, very unfortunate. And it's sad. I've talked about this a few times. But generally what happens to professional athletes or lottery winners within 4 years of them winning or leaving their sport?
A lot of them micturated away.
They're broke.
Yeah.
They're broke. Or they're filing for Chapter 9, or they're living on scraps. And these guys, and mind you, at this time, they're only 35 to 38 years old, generally in their prime.
Yeah.
I mean, the average lottery winner, I think they said, is like 2 years and 7 months before they spent through all their money. 97% of them, mind you. Not all of them, 97%, which is a huge, huge number.
It's insane.
And then they said professional athletes, it's almost over 96% that have nothing left after 3 to 4 years after they leave the game. The superstars out there, which I won't mention for copyright reasons, that they have enough money out there and they have endorsements and stuff that they'll have money forever. They're not worried about it.
Yeah.
But that one person I had several years ago came to a workshop, and he was an all pro. He won a Super Bowl. And I asked him, I said, how's your portfolio look? He said, I don't know. My guy sends me $30,000 a month from my account, and that's what I spend. And every month he sends me $30,000. I said, how much you got left? He goes, oh, I'm sure I got a lot. 7 months later, he calls me up. He says, I'm broke. He goes, my guy in New York sent me so much. He goes, I've been retired for 5 years, and I didn't realize I went flying through all this money, and then the market went tank, bank, and boom, he had no idea how much money, because he didn't pay attention. And if you don't pay attention to your portfolio, you don't make notes, you don't learn from your mistakes, and you don't protect a portion of it, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Clear Income Strategies. That's why that is the name of your business there, and that's why this podcast is called Guard Your Savings. So, Dolph, if somebody wants to start that conversation with you, because you just scratched the surface, you just set out some benchmarks. You haven't even gotten into all those strategies, though we have in past episodes. What do they do? What's that first call like? And if they make that first call and go through the rigmarole to set it up, are they suddenly signing their life away that they're going to be obligated to you forever or something?
No, it's a process. I mean, we have to, first of all, see if we're a fit. I'm an educator first and an advisor second. I like to get to know someone, see what their situation is, because I've never ran into this. 21 years of doing this, Doug, I've never ran into the same situation twice.
That's crazy.
And
wow.
Everybody has a different situation, and figuring out what you want to protect. Boom. 99% of my clients have a second advisor. They work with me for the protection and guarantees. They work with the other advisors for the risk and all that aspect of it.
So the way they start that conversation, way you can listening right now, is you dial up the office there, 704-919-0149, or you could go to clearincomeforlife.com, clearincomeforlife.com, hit the contact button. You can also, if it's easier to remember, guardyoursavings.com, clicks through to the media page of clearincomeforlife.com. You can schedule that 20-minute Ask Dolph Anything call, and they come up with a where do you stand plan. You can get a copy of Dolph's free book, Cross the Bridge to Retirement. So many tools to get started there. Even that tax modeling software. Look, you don't want Dolph or me modeling for you, but Dolph and his team will model the taxes, okay? And just showing where different things hit and how it's layered. That's also critically important here to create, again, that clear income strategy. Dolph, thanks so much for sharing about this, about the ages 59 and a half, 62, 65, and we'll just call it the average 73 on the RMD side, and walking us through how those hit people.
My pleasure. And I said, Any calls, give us a call, email, any questions. And if you actually want us to talk about something in a podcast, go to info@cisforlife.com and just tell me what you want me to do a show on, and I have no problem spending the time to do it for you.
Hey, and
take care, and God bless you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. He is Dolph Janis, founder, insurance professional, and income strategist at Clear Income Strategies Group out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And again, that number, 704-919-0149. Thanks to Dolph. Thanks also to our producer, Alfred Romero, for getting this all published out there. And thank all of you for listening. I'm Doug Turnbull. This has been the Guard Your Savings podcast, and we'll talk to you very soon.
By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Randall Janis, North Carolina Insurance License number 8483456. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Dolph Janis is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Dolph Janis is licensed in your state, please call 704-919-0149.